Hello. So today I want to show you guys how to leverage models like Opus 4.6 or Gemini 3.1 Pro. These are ridiculously powerful models, and if you're doing n8n automation, you can actually use them to build workflows for you. And I don't mean they write the JSON and then you copy paste that into your instance. That's not what I mean. I mean they literally go and create the workflow in your instance for you and populate it with the nodes and the logic flow. And also, they can monitor the error log so that whenever you have an error, it can go in there and fix the error for you. So the way this works is by using the n8n MCP and connecting it to an AI agent. So the agent we want to use is up to you. You can pick a model, but we have to use an agentic IDE to give the MCP access, and then we can have that one build and edit and improve and check the health and fix all the things that we have going on in n8n. So just to get started, what you need to do is you need to open up anti-gravity or any IDE, even cursor can work for this, right? Any agentic IDE can work. So once you have it open here, you get this is the main screen, right? Agent Manager, Clone Repository, your recent workspaces, and obviously the GitHub one. So if you click on Toggle Agent, it'll bring you to this screen. And here's where you can choose the model you want to work with. So you can imagine I can build an n8n instance workflow with Opus 4.6. That's ridiculously powerful, and it wouldn't even have to be that hard because of how much reasoning power this model has. So click on these three dots and go to MCP servers. Here are a bunch of MCP servers that are already given to us by anti-gravity. We don't have access to them yet, but you can connect it to Netlify for hosting, even connect it to PayPal to do payment integration and payment processing. There's a bunch of them, but you don't see n8n on this list, so we're going to create a custom connection. So click on Manage MCP Servers, and if you have no servers installed, that's okay. Go to the view raw config file, and the reason that this file is empty, this file is empty because there are no MCP servers here. So we need to write some JSON here. Now, the file for the JSON is already in the description, so you don't need to worry about that. But you just copy it and paste it in, okay? And this is the wrong stuff. Okay. So here it is. You go ahead and just paste it in. And I'm going to show you how to get your n8n URL and your n8n API key. So to do that, you need to open Chrome. All right, so now that you're open in Chrome here, go ahead and open your n8n workflows page. And all you want to do is grab this first part until cloud. So copy that bit, come here, and where it says n8n URL, you paste that in. You could just remove this slash from there. And the way you know it's working is if you hold command and click on this, it actually takes you to your real page. Okay? Now to get the API key, what you need to do is you need to click on the settings icon down here and go to n8n API, which is this one. And here you'll see all of the API keys that you have, which might be none, which is again, it's okay. Then click on create API key. You can call this anything you want, it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna just go ahead and call mine anti-gravity underscore MCP, and I'll name it YouTube. Just so that I know, right here, this is a key you don't really want to give it to anybody. It's a private key. So obviously I will delete mine after this, but once you have this, don't share it, okay? Now click to copy that and then click on done. Now that you've copied it, come here, remove this and paste in the key. Okay? Now if you go to manage MCPs now, so also press Command S or Control S, whatever you're on, to save this file. You come here and you refresh, and now you see we have the n8n server. And the command we have is called n8n-mcp. What that means is that if I come on this side and I go back to agent, if I put a slash, okay, we can command it using this. Actually, we don't even need to use a slash. We can just ask it here, what tools do you have access to in, that's the command, and press enter. All right, now it will list out for us the tools that it now has access to. Where if before we had written this, before adding this entire thing, it wouldn't have had any tools, right? It would have had access to no tools. So you can see it can search nodes, it can place templates, it can do getting templates, whatever. I think the most powerful stuff, honestly, is here in the execution stuff, where it can get details, includes error debugging mode. So you can have it auto check your execution log and fix any errors within that. So you don't have to fix your own workflow errors. Okay, so there's a total of I think 19 or 8. Yeah, okay, so there's 18 tools in total that it has access to. Although looking at this one, there's actually 20. But anyways, you have that list here, so you can call them out via their own command, which is this. Now, here's the problem. When you actually give it a command like build a workflow that does this, this, and this, I notice that a lot of times it will prioritize HTTP requests over the native LLM nodes that we have. We have native GPT, native Gemini, but it will prioritize HTTP requests. And also, when it wants structured JSON output, it won't use an LLM chain with an output parser. It will just try and find a way to get JSON. So the way we can ensure that it accurately builds in a way that we like, so I prefer to use LLM chains. That's just a personal preference. I'm going to show you how we make sure it builds in the way that we want it to build. Now click on the three dots again and go to customization. Here there's rules and then click on workflows. Okay, again, you might not have anything here. It's completely fine. So click on global and I'm going to name this build workflow. All right, press enter. That will take you here. Okay, so here is where we can describe to the agent what exactly this workflow is supposed to be for and how it's actually going to help it. So for the description, I'm going to just say, follow this when building n8n workflows. It will tell you how to write n8n JSON correctly. Okay, and again, this is all in the description. Now, as for the content, this is particularly how I like to build in n8n, certain things about my personal preferences. So you can obviously use it, it's in the description, or you don't have to, you can write your own, right? It's completely up to you, however you want to do it. So what I have here is role and objective. I have your core architecture and data rules. Before I take any JSON, you must strictly adhere to their foundational data paradigm. Okay, and then like I said, the last section here is native nodes and structured JSON outputs. Prefer native nodes over HTTP request and enforcing JSON via the basic LLM chain, enforcing it via the native OpenAI node, and it has to follow this structure if you're going to use that. So basically, this just is how we want it to do the building part. And you can see I have some characters still left over, so you can go ahead and as much of this as you want to use. When you press Command S or Control S, you're going to see it appear here. Now this one says workflow, I know, but this is the one we just made. It's called build workflow. And as soon as you press save, this will appear over here. Okay, so that's like you're basically done with the setup. All right, the setup is basically done, such that we can now go back to agent. Okay, so we're in agent here. I'll just extend this across. We'll use Opus 4.6, and now let's test it out. Let's give it a prompt. Okay, so I'm just gonna voice this one in. I'll say I need an n8n workflow to automate my content creation. The flow needs to catch payload containing like a raw voice note transcription through Telegram. Evaluate the transcription. If it's too long or if it's too short, no, if it's too short or empty, branch the flow off to log a basic error message and then stop the flow. If it's valid, then I want the AI to take that transcription and act as a ghostwriter. It will output a format LinkedIn post and a detailed visual prompt for a hook image. This AI output needs to be strictly structured JSON and needs to be in separate data fields. Once the agent has those two things, it will take the visual prompt and push it to a custom image generation API. I'll give you the URL. And when sending that request, make sure it has the parameter to enforce my brand colors, which are turquoise, yellow, purple, and light green. And finally, make sure the whole workflow is spaced out logically on the canvas, because I'll be recording my screen to show this build in video tutorials. Okay, so I'm just going to edit this a little bit. I already have credentials for Telegram, connecting to a OpenAI transcriber. and I have given it a mock URL to just use. Okay, so that's it. I'm gonna send this. So first, before I do that, I'm gonna go up here and we're gonna look for n8n underscore create workflow. Copy this. So it knows this is what it's creating. Send that off. So the crazy part is that we're able to use something like, Opus, which is extremely intelligent, extremely smart. So it says evaluate a transcription, if valid, take a visual prompt, arrange the nodes, and let me check the build workflow instructions to see the proper format and structure. So I didn't even tell it to check build workflow, but because in the thing we said check this when building, it now knows because it's read build workflow, it now knows that it has to follow these rules. Okay, so now we can let it do its thing. I'll pause the video and we'll come back and we'll have a fully functioning n8n workflow. And the big thing I want to mention is that if I go back here and look at my workflows, you see that there isn't actually one that's created today. Today is the 26th of February. We don't have to paste JSON anywhere. We can just wait. It will appear here within n8n. It will come there as a new workflow by itself. We can honestly we can honestly just leave this screen side over here, okay? And we'll be able to actually just see it populate n8n with the full workflow. Okay, so we can have this just over here, for example, and we should see it come off any second now. All right, so let's come back when it is done. I'll put this like that, yeah. Honestly, that took like less than 2 minutes. Anyways, it says here your workflow voice note LinkedIn content pipeline is live on your n8n instance. Before activating, configure these two credentials. Okay, perfect. Now, as you can see, it's not, I don't know, I don't see it in here, but maybe if I refresh this page, there it is. Perfect. So if we look at it, obviously it wasn't too complex, and okay, it did work. Like as far as the organization goes, I meant like the 300 pixels spacing thing. Just that it isn't too, you know, it isn't too aesthetically placed. But anyways, it's okay. So if we look at this, we have used an A, and as you can see, perfectly went ahead, enabled specific output format, and did it create a schema? It did. It created a schema using OpenAI chat model, so obviously it doesn't have access to my credentials. Thank God for that. Otherwise, I don't know. Imagine if it messes up and just starts using all my money. So that's okay. And we need to set up this as well. So let's just go ahead and use my OpenAI account for this, and Telegram voice note. So here I would probably choose this as the thing. It's gonna transcribe a voice note. The input data field name is data. Is that correct? I don't know. Well, I suppose we'll see. Did it also use the right URL? Yeah, it did. It used the right URL. And then we get the final output, the LinkedIn post, the generated image URL, and completed ad. Okay, perfect. So I could have built this myself, but and also probably in about 10 minutes, but it did it in 2 minutes, and I didn't have to be here for it to happen. So, it's an absolute win. Okay, so let's just test it out and let's see how well it works. I need to open Telegram. I think what I will do though is just go ahead and put here a Telegram. We'll do a send text message. Actually, no, it's okay. We'll deal with that after. Okay, so I just did a test. I sent a voice note to a Telegram message, and as you can see, I have been given this error. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to say, okay, I just ran it, got this error. So we didn't actually go ahead and call the tool by its name or anything like that. Like we didn't say for it to edit a workflow or whatnot. Let me check the execution details. Okay, so it's doing that. Let me add a Telegram get file step between the trigger. That's exactly what I was gonna do. Perfect. All right, so it's also going to go ahead now and fix this, right? So I'm gonna open a new tab here and a new n8n whatever. I'll close this one. So it's gonna go ahead and do the fixing. I was also gonna say let's just add a Telegram get file node in between the two. That's the way we can just download the file. But I didn't even have to. I didn't even have to do that. I didn't even tell it to do that. I just said here's this error. You don't have to do that either. You can just say go get the error log and fix the problem, and it'll do that. It's clearly doing it right now. Yeah, okay. Well, look at that. Unpin the n8n first. Ah, okay. Let's open up this new workflow. And you can see we have a get voice file. Now, it said isn't entirely true. This won't actually fail right now because if it's gonna get it by the ID, it is gonna be fine. Yeah, okay. So I thought it would error, but it's not gonna error. Execute this step. It's transcribing the recording. Perfect. Validating something. 11 seconds, so it's long enough. All right. This is gonna write a post about it. Perfect. And here, obviously, this is, when we look at the post, are you missing out on the AI automation revolution? Every industry is buzzing about AI, but where should you focus your energy? Here are three niches recipe for AI automation you can't afford to ignore. Healthcare, finance, retail, even got a CTA. Okay, so now obviously this is a fake URL for an image generation thing. But we very well could just delete this here, put an OpenAI, generate image, generate an image. This is the prompt. We'll use GPT image 1. Have it make an image, and we're done. So basically, this is great. Now, what we can see is it's managed to build this entire workflow, and we give it a very simple one to build. Like, this is all we said. You can voice it in, you just go here, you click on the mic, just talk about what you want it to do, and it will do it.